All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, it's pretty much, going to be a bit of a history lesson, man, because yesterday, August 6th, 2024, it marked the 79th anniversary of the bombings that took place in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan on August 6, 1945. So, I'm going to play this clip. It's pretty much an illustration of what took place that day, and it also features a clip from President Truman, So I'm just going to play, this clip and a couple others and bring out a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point.
This is just in, ladies and gentlemen. President Truman just announced the first ever use of a new secret weapon, an atomic bomb of unparalleled strength. The bomb was deployed 16 hours ago and engulfed Hiroshima in a mushroom of fire. Japanese officials have confirmed the immediate loss of over 78,000 lives following the blast, with the total number of casualties now exceeding 130,000. President Truman has called for Japan to surrender or expect a rain of ruin from the air, the like of which has never been seen on this earth.
Sir, at the time that you first found out about the atomic bomb, did you regard it as a curse or a blessing to mankind?
Well, I thought it was a blessing. I thought it could be used and made a blessing. I never worried about it being a curse. I wanted a weapon that would win the war, and it did. That's what I was interested in.
So, pretty much a short film, going into, the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And there's been, numerous amounts of information that has come out, on that particular day, or those days, but again, that just goes to show you that this is indeed biblical prophecy, man. So I just want to go into first what Harry Truman said, because he asked him, or the person that was interviewing him asked him if he thought that would be a blessing. Well, that was Esau's blessing, the sword. So I'm just going to get, straight to the point. This is Genesis chapter 27, and I'm going to start at verse 38, because this is after, Jacob supplanted Esau, for the blessing, because he pretty much pretended to be him, and Isaac gave Jacob the kingdom. But this is what Isaac gave Esau. So this is Genesis 27 and 38. And it says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. So this is why you have the nation of Edom, the so-called white man, why they have, the best of everything, really starting with the elites. They have the best food, they have the best land, clothing, anything, they have the best of everything, the fatness, man. And it says, and the dew of heaven from above, verse 40, and this is the point, by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Because as we know, after, King David and King Solomon, died, the nation of Israel was split into two kingdoms, and Esau eventually got from up under the rulership of Israel, But again, the point being in verse 40 is that Esau will live by his sword, and that's his ultimate sword, is this nuclear technology that he has today, and it even illustrated, that pretty much it evolved from those atomic bombs to evolving into nuclear missiles. And spoiler alert for brothers that haven't seen it, but the movie Oppenheimer even went into it as well, because this is what, Julius Oppenheimer was envisioning at the end of the movie, because he realized that, his weapon would eventually evolve into what we have today. Atomic bombs, which you have to fly over your particular targets, and drop, to intercontinental ballistic missiles, which can be, shot from one end of the earth to the other with a push of a button, But indeed, what not just Harry Truman, but even Esau, hell, even Oppenheimer, failed to realize is that, their blessing was really their curse as well, because the very same thing that, the Lord blessed them with, that the Lord through Isaac blessed Esau with, the sword, was the very same thing he's going to be taken out with, So his blessing is ultimately his curse, So I'm going to get the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 13. And it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And is that not what he did? This man literally dropped a bomb. He made fire come from heaven. He dropped two bombs. Fat Man and Little Boy were the names of the two bombs that were dropped. He made fire come down from heaven, and he destroyed those cities. And it says, the casualties were over, 100,000 people, But eventually, this man is going to pay for that, what he did, And just to, again, go into that blessing, man, because, I do videos on this particular topic, every Monday. But this is the reality of what we have today, man. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, behold, they have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and they have created the waster to destroy it. And as we know, the modern smiths would be the scientists, in particular German scientists, that developed these nuclear capabilities. And that waster to destroy is indeed the nuclear missiles themselves, because during that time in the 1940s, you have, German scientists like, Oppenheimer, which I think he was a small hat as well. If not, if I'm not mistaken, I forget at the moment. But, you had, Russia and Russia and America scrambling to get those scientists to develop these weapons. Hence the reason why back then and even today, Russia and America are at an arms race, to develop the most. But today, Russia has more nuclear warheads than America. Those are the two nations that possess the most nuclear missiles. But between those two nations, Russia has more, because it's biblical prophecy that, Russia is going to destroy America, on a small scale, but we know on a grander scale, it's going to be our Lord Yahweh Shai, So now I'm going to jump to Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 16, because this is what these nations are going to say once this man goes down, So it's the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 16. And it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the houses, that opened not the house of his prisoners? So again, man, this man shook kingdoms. He had the world in fear during that particular time, man, because no other nation had that technology, that they had. So again, as he said, I wanted, to win the war, and we won, Once they dropped those bombs, World War II was pretty much over, because again, no other nation had that capabilities, but they have them today. Which I'm just going to grab, a couple more, because I do have certain scriptures written down, but I'm just going to grab, others that I didn't write down. So there's the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9, and it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So this is what these other nations are doing during this particular time. Because again, America was the only nation that had that technology during, that particular time in the 1940s. But now you have numerous nations that possess nuclear weapons. That's the weak saying they're strong, man, because they're not afraid of America anymore, because they know that eventually this place will be taken down. These other nations are ready to take this place down, So this is the book of Malachi, chapter 4 and verse 1. And it says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And yeah, man, that day is coming. And what is that day? World War III, man. Judgment Day. The day that war officially kicks off, man, America will be destroyed, It's lucky, bear with me. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and verse 27. Says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. So yeah, man, Esau dropped those bombs on Japan, but eventually, these other nations are going to drop their bombs on America. Again, Russia's going to be, the main one, but, you also have nations like, China, North Korea, Iran, India, Pakistan, these various nations that, possess these nuclear weapons that are ready to shoot their missiles over here as well. You even have America's allies that are going to turn and shoot their missiles over here, So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." And, again, those 10 horns being a part of, the NATO and the EU, these nations that are allied with America, eventually they're going to be angry, and they're going to shoot their missiles over here as well, man. And it says they shall make her desolate, meaning once America gets hit with those missiles, is that's pretty much it, man. This place is going to be left, desolate. Is going to be the world's biggest desert, just like it describes in Isaiah, the 34th chapter, which I'm just going to get a couple verses out of here. And, this may be it. So there's the book of Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree." So yeah, man, it's not literally talking about, the heaven, being destroyed. But again, it's describing that mushroom cloud, because as you've seen, in that short film, anytime an explosion, a very large explosion goes off, it causes a mushroom cloud, man. That's what it means, the heavens being rolled together as a scroll, man. That's what it's describing, Verse 5, it says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea." Who are the Idumeans? The nation of Edom. That's the Greek way of saying Edom. Idumea. It says, "And upon the people of my curse to judgment." And yes, man, that's who the Lord is coming back to take down primarily. Even though he's coming back to take down all these nations, he's primarily coming back to take down the nation of Edom. This is verse 6, and it says, "The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." And what is modern day Basra? America. Same thing. Idumea, America, man. Because as we know, America ultimately is Rome all over again, but America is pretty much a conglomeration of all these ancient kingdoms that rose and fell, man. It's the reason Babylon the Great, confusion, because that's what comes up out of this place, man, confusion. But that was the future of America, man, destruction. Because Esau dropped those bombs on Japan, well, ultimately he rolled that stone, so that stone is going to be returned unto him, So I'm just going to end it on this, and then I'll play a couple clips. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, and verse 1. And it says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, meaning the destruction, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from heaven, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And that's talking about the elect, because this destruction ultimately won't take place until, first and foremost, the major prophecy we're all waiting for, which is the implementation of the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, and, once that is implemented and is made mandatory, then eventually this destruction is going to, take place. So now I'm going to jump to the book of Revelation, chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 15. And it says, and the four angels were loose, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. So understand that this destruction has a particular day that is prepared for, man, and it says it's to slay the third part of men because you have three classes of men on the earth. You have the sons of God, which are the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all 12 tribes, not just Judah, all 12 tribes, man. The sons of God, the Israelites, the biblical Israelites. You have the sons of men, which are the other heathen nations. And you have the sons of the wicked, which would be the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. Because that's who this destruction ultimately is prepared for, Esau, So the verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, and thus I saw that the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issue out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And again, it's describing those warheads, man. That's what this is describing, the warheads. So I'm going to play this clip, to pretty much, give a description of what Revelation 9, is talking about. And that's what it's describing, man. The heads or the tails like serpents is, describing the rocket system that is propelling these missiles, to hit their particular targets. And, the damage, the head like lions is talking about the warheads, man, that is going to do the damage, So I'm just going to play a couple more. And, just in case these videos are playing music, for the sake of YouTube, fair use. Let's play this one. See, tails like serpents, man, because you see the trail of smoke that's being left, by that propulsion system. So as you can see, man, 79 years later, we went from atomic bombs to nuclear missiles, And every missile that is being created is going to be used, during World War III. So I'm going to end it on this, play this clip from Ren and Stimpy. And this is why you're going to also have, the angels hurt. It's like if the angels holding the earth, in place just so that, it doesn't crack and ultimately, is destroyed, because the entire earth will not be destroyed like the Death Star, man. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the art of the great millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I see you, Shalom.